Here we have possibly the lightest mountain bike bar and seat post in the world, and they come from purveyors of exotic carbon goodness, Schmolke. If you haven't heard of Schmolke before, they're a small company based in Germany which make all of their carbon parts in-house in very limited numbers. So as you'd expect, this stuff doesn't come cheap, but more on that later. I've ridden Schmolke products before, namely their top spec tubular road wheels for 2 years during the British hill climb season. After 2 seasons of use and abuse, they are still going strong. So when Schmolke got in touch to ask if we wanted to test some of their mountain bike products, I was obviously very keen to do that. After a bit of back and forth, we eventually settled on their TLO bar and seat post. TLO stands for the lightest one, so obviously they're the top spec, no holds barred options. Interestingly, Schmolke offer a variety of custom choices when ordering their products. On the handlebars, the first is width. You can have anything from a very old school 480mm wide, so obviously very thin, up to a more contemporary 740mm wide. As I like my bars fairly wide, I went for the 740mm options. The next option is rider weight. Schmolke custom make their products to suit your weight. So if you're very light, they can make it with a bit less material, or if you're a bit bigger, a bit more powerful, they're going to make it with a bit more. Because I weigh way under 75 kilos, I was able to choose the lightest option, which is under 75. The next choice is another interesting one, and that's whether or not you'd like your product to be as strong as possible or as light as possible. Obviously, if you want the product to be as light as possible, then they make it with the minimum amount of material that they can, while still keeping the product safe. And obviously, you might sacrifice something in terms of stiffness, and if you want the bar as strong as possible, then obviously it's going to be made a lot stronger, going to be a lot tougher, but you're going to sacrifice some weight. I'm a real weight weenie. I like my products to be light, so I obviously went for the lightest possible option. Final choice is purely cosmetic, and that's how you want the carbon weave to look and what colours you want the logos to be. Once you've decided all those options, and there is quite a few options to choose from, the bars took around 3 weeks to arrive because, well, Schmolke need to make them for you. And the seat post is very similar. You get plenty of customization options, whether you're going to have it for road or mountain bike, how much the setback's going to be, whether the post is inline or kind of setback 10mm, and obviously the diameter of the seat post, depending on what bike you're going to put it in. So the big question is, after all that back and forth, how much does this super fancy bar and post weigh? Well, the post weighs just 129 grams for a mountain bike post, which is pretty mind-blowing. But these handlebars, which are going to support you when you're doing technical cross-country descents and all those kind of things, weigh just 96 grams in a 740mm width. That is truly crazy. This is achieved because Schmolke use some of the finest carbon around, using T1000 fibres. These are incredibly light and have some of the highest tensile strength available, meaning they're very stiff. But as you'd expect for the top spec T1000, which sounds like something from Terminator carbon, it doesn't come cheap. The bars cost around €239 and the post costs nearly €400. Now that is incredibly expensive, but if you're a true weight weenie, you already know that it is a hobby that doesn't come cheap. How does the price and weight compare to the competition? Well, with the handlebars, another kind of top spec carbon fibre company, Envy, they make a cross-country carbon fibre handlebar. That weighs 192 grams, so basically double the weight of the Schmolke, and costs $170. So it is cheaper, but not kind of, not half the price. So whether you think the Schmolke products are worth the price, well, that's up to you. Picking them up feels pretty terrifying in a way because they are just so light. There just doesn't feel like there's much there. And you think, I'm going to be kind of rattling down a descent on these, and how are they ever going to, hold my weight and stay together? But go on Schmolke's website and there is plenty of literature there about rigorous safety testing and stuff like that, and the fact that many XC pros use these, so I'm optimistic that they are going to be up to the job of supporting me throughout the racing. And all this leads us up to today, where I'm going to be putting the bar and post on my 2019 long-termer. That's a Scott Scale Hardtail World Cup 29er. How they perform, will they be stiff enough? Will they fall to bits? Well, that's what I'm going to be finding out over the next few months when I test them in plenty of training rides, a few key races, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to hold up and if they're really worth the money. But what do you guys think? Is this the ultimate in weight weenie mountain bike performance, or is it just gone too far and it's too light and too scary? As always, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.